Hi, this is Sean Nelson. Welcome to module number 8. Jim and I are here today. Yay, I have somebody in class. I'm so happy. Um, and actually, Gemini, you inspired this module. I haven't broadcast it yet, have I? But you and your smarty pants fix for things. So let me share my screen. This new module is going to be called Cheating and Sneaky Tricks. Because that you found the button for colorize um, for module 6. I thought that was hilarious. I'm like, well, I didn't really tell them not to do that. Um, was cracking up. So today I thought we'd get into all the neurofilters and stuff. Where did you learn about them? Are you just go in and dig them out, or is it from a different class or something?
In prior classes, I learned about Adobe Max,
Uh-huh.
and so if I'm frustrated with anything or I'm having a hard time, I just Google it or like look through Adobe. Adobe has tons of videos, tutorials, all kinds of
Yeah.
things, and I was looking up different ways on making vectors, and this one popped up. It was 21 seconds. I was like, no way. And then so I tried it out and was like, that's crazy. So instead of just turning in a 21-second tutorial, I just did really quick. I tried it multiple ways, and then I have a friend who's really great with Photoshop. He walked
Uh-huh.
me through different ways so I understood paths a lot better
Good.
because I didn't want to just skip it. But finding the neural filters, I was amazed. And then I also got put myself on the wait list for other features that are coming out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I was kind of exciting, like colorizing and all kinds of things. But it poses ethical questions too, like um,
Sort of. Yeah.
should I be doing that? Should I learn the old way? Like when cameras turn to digital, is it important that I know how to shoot manual? Is it important to know how to develop film?
Yeah. Well,
Kinda. Like depends on how serious you want to be about it.
I was going to sort of cover that a little bit today, especially with the colorizing thing, right? Where
Hmm.
really the assignment was to go through and use layers and color um, different colors on different layers and stuff to kind of bring that the same thing you did by pushing a button. Now, will there be a time where you maybe need to use layers and stuff because the button doesn't work right? Maybe, but honestly, it's probably going to be like maybe 2% of the time, 5% of the time, maybe, right? So, and the button's not going away. The layers and stuff might go away, but the button's not going away. In fact,
Well, there's also, for us photographers, we also have other options like IBIS paint and other
yeah,
things that use layers. And so we can't cheat in those at all. So if we're using multi-programs, then yeah, we're going to need to know this.
yeah, or at least know how to export one thing to the next, like how to collapse it and then bop it over into the other one.
Hmm.
Um, one of the things I wanted to show you today is the actions menu as well. Not the actions, the quick actions menu, um, which is sort of like um, AI, but not. It's more of a macro than an AI. And then the other thing I want to cover today is how to create macros or actions. Have you ever done actions or droplets before? Maybe not. It's more of
I
a
haven't.
thing when you have a lot of pictures to deal with. So in my world, we quite often render out hundreds of frames of animation, right, as single images, and then bring those into Adobe Premiere and then create a animation or whatever um, from that folder full of images. And sometimes they're the wrong size or slightly different colors. So these are real macros are really good droplets are really good ways of running a bunch of functions on a bunch of files at the drop of a button. Like maybe if you wanted a wedding and the bride's like, I wanted everything in sepia, it'd be really good for that because then you'd say, all right, here's your 350 photos all done in sepia now. So it's stuff like that. So I'll kind of go through it. And then I put generative fill on there in there just because that's kind of, we've already talked about it, but we'll talk about it a little bit again. I want to talk about generative scale a little bit. What other neurofilters? I was looking at the neurofilters, and there were some that I'd never seen before. Colorize, style transfer. There's more than that. Anyways, we'll take a look at them. But first, I'll look at the homework. What was the homework last week? You said you had fun? Oh, historic photo of people. Yeah, that's a good assignment, huh? I was looking through the assignments from the previous teacher, and he seems like a nice guy and stuff, but he's like, here's the picture, do this to it. And I'm like, it's no fun. You have to be invested in it. I think it's much better if you bring the picture of whatever you want to do and then do something personal to it. I think that works out better.
I had a
Yeah.
lot of fun looking through potential photos of mine and online and looking at like how like which images will go best. And I ended up having to turn my face horizontally.
Oh,
So,
interesting. And you
mhm.
didn't just take a new picture?
Nope.
Oh, yeah, because somewhere in it, I added like I have a video on how to do I'd done this tutorial before, so I had a video of how to do that. But I took special pictures just for that video. Like I found the target photograph, and then I went out and took pictures of myself in positions that would better allow me to input myself into those images.
Mm.
Very specific ones, which is, if you have a model sitting around, then that's doable. But if you're going from referenced images, like you're trying to do Arnold Schwarzenegger into something, then you just kind of have to find a picture of him that works mostly, and then puppet warp him or whatever into
Mm.
shape,
I
perspective
was
warp.
I was working with a photographer friend um, about 10 years ago. She was just getting into it, and so we did shoots of each other. And this was a boudoir shoot that she did of me. And my friend who was helping me with notes and all that was like, "Oh, well, why don't we just put you like on the table?" And I was like, "Let's not," And so we just went
Yeah.
through like with lighting, and picked, like I said, reversing my face made the light work. I didn't have to
Oh, that's
do a lot of editing on that because the light just happened to be right across so long as I flipped the face.
that's cool. I
Mhm.
think that's one of the things we're gonna is on the menu today is reshadowing is in there somewhere.
Mhm.
Um, which
Awesome.
yeah, I could show you how to do that manually, um,
Mhm.
which is a little cleaner. But there's a button for it now. So yeah, because there's quick action, there's neurofilters, there's quick actions, and then there's macros. And actually, quite a bit of the quick actions are macros, anyways. But if you have something you do all the time, then it's a really kind of a handy thing to have laying around. And hardly anybody knows it even exists. These are like nether regions of Photoshop because they're they're mostly for people who have a lot of photos to do one thing to.
And that would
Not
be us.
like resizing, 500 images or changing 500 images from JPEGs to PNGs or um, turning down the blue in 500 images, like you shot an entire roll of film and or I don't know what they call it anymore. Like you shot an entire card of film
Yeah.
and you had a light leak or something, and you just want to turn that and you want to turn that light leak down in every single photo, then you can do stuff like that. Or just selective photos, because you can just go beep, doop and drop it in. Let's say only seemed appropriate to go here. It's really funny. I thought that was such a funny photo where the kid was smoking. That's not bad at all. Oh, there's her photo. Yeah, this kind of stuff is really hard to get at, even with all the AI and stuff. It's pretty rough. I've got this nightmare of a project that I'm working on. Let's see if I have one of the images up. No, I don't. See if I can. Do I'll put them here somewhere. There. This one. So I have a whole bunch of stuff like this. This is actually a screen grab from a live piece of footage, but that I'm doing this for the fire department, where, well, for like a national fire department sort of thing, doing how to get down off the hill safely if you're trapped in a fire. And so they wanted this tree on fire, so I like edited embers into there and stuff, but the sky has to be red and look like smoke blowing by in the background. So with all this closure and stuff, like AI does not grab any of that. It's impossible. There's just too much like garbage halo stuff. I have to do an overlay of the whole thing and be really tricky about it. It's kind of a nightmare. So AI failed.
Are
I tried to
you
make a mess.
are you on Facebook? Do you have Facebook?
On what?
Facebook?
Yes.
Okay, I have an album of the Valley Fire
Oh yeah?
and lots of trees on fire and buildings and such, but the um the background color, you can go like kind of sift in my photos on that Third Iris photography. And there's an
Yeah.
album for Valley Fire, I think, and then like you'll see the sky is never red.
No, it's always
um
like brown or something. But yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's like a really specific color when you get that. It's pretty wild. It's like yellow. Um,
Yeah.
and two, there's other details like to make it look really real, like the car that's in the photo. There would be no shadow in fires. It seems pretty
Y-
twisted, but one of my favorite features is the ambient light. There are no shadows within a fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't removed any shadows yet. Most of the stuff is moving, so you can't see
Right.
it happening. But this is supposed to be after the fire and the trees are smoldering.
Hmm.
And it's like, if the trees have fallen, then you should go a different way, is the whole caption of this. But I have lots of scenes like where the car is like whipping around a corner down a one lane street in a wooded area, and this stuff is just, there's nothing that grabs it well. Like I can comp out the color, I can do all sorts of stuff, and I always get a stupid halo around closure like that. So my big point is it's really hard to do this kind of stuff,
Hmm.
even in a still. Yeah, like I end up going and painting it back in with a like getting a brush and actually just doing the dark color, then going over it with the medium color, then going over with the light color, just so I can get some strands in contrast to this sort of thing. But you didn't need to do that here in the dark. Kind of works because it's so low grainy. Neat. We did that one. Marine. Good job, Marine. All right. Oh, and then here's Gemini's. Oh, look at that. That's great. Where did you even find that photo?
Google. It's a play of Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Wow. Look, those are great costumes.
Aren't they
So
amazing?
scary.
Yeah.
Things were way scarier in the 1800s. Like the costumes were like not good, but really kind of,
Well, like that little dormouse, if he were to come join my tea party, I'd probably flip out.
yeah, right? Like, what is that made out of? Did they make that out of plaster? Is that clay, paper mache, like that? It's not latex and rubber and stuff.
Nope.
Um,
I have no idea.
even your hat and your hair and stuff is like super in place with all this. I assume that's you.
Yeah, that's me. And I kind of felt
Yeah.
like my head might be in the wrong place, but then also it's a man
Yeah.
and like the torso is bigger. And I was like, well, it kind of makes it look like I have breasts, though it's a dude. And then the feet are smaller. I'm like, it is disproportionate, but it's the Mad Hatter. And so I
Yeah.
was like, should I tip my head down, like my chin down a little? And it wasn't right. And it messed with it a lot. And then when I was done with that, then I went through and used the erase with a low
This is the one you
opacity.
flip the
Yeah, I flipped
lighting
it.
on.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I tried my face as Alice's face first, and I just could not get it right. It was like my head was turned too far for her body is like forward. So it
Yeah.
didn't quite work. And then I flipped it and I was like, oh wow, the light is right because it's right on his vest and his jacket. And there was a
That's
lot more
great.
to the jacket, like a lot more
Uh-huh.
black in the background. So I went through and did a lot of cloning to match the paint on the walls, and to clean up
Yeah,
those
because
lines. Hmm.
these old photos have a really interesting kind of rack focus. It's like not only rack, but the contrast is way off. It's like the
Really
light
helpful.
can't make it that far back or something. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So all I would say is if you wanted to look a little more um, um, feminine,
Mhm.
you just have to move your head a little up the thing there. I give yourself a little bit more of a neck, and that would have been fine. The
That's
legs are
yeah.
pretty short already, but if you just took your head and went like so your chin was here or something,
Yeah, and
up
then
and then chin.
the hat didn't quite fit when I did that.
Oh,
So
you would have had to move the hat with you.
yeah, and the hat
You
was already part of the original.
right, but you could have just cropped it out and move your head and the hat up, and
Oh,
it's a lot more work. Yeah,
yeah. Yeah.
but this is fantastic. Like I put this on my desktop. That's really fun.
It's my profile picture. I
It
colorized it.
is.
If you scroll down, I put color to it. If you look next.
He did the color one too. Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Wow, that button's amazing. It makes everything kind of rainbowy, but I like it.
It gives
Uh,
it an older feel. I love the color of the walls. So I was like, actually, this is kind of
yeah.
cool. It puts it like this is really a backdrop, and we're really having a play. So it's really fun.
It's very interesting what it does. It's a kick-ass button. I would
Hmm.
not have thought this was lighter and then this was black, but that totally works too for the March hair.
Yeah, and if you don't like any colors, you can go through and change them and
Yeah,
do other things. But mhm.
neat. I quite like that a lot. That the subject matter is great. Now you have a Halloween costume. Um,
Right. I don't have to dress up. I just need to make a picture every year now. Say I did.
now you have to dress up and you have to go somewhere. You have to drive out of the valley and go to somewhere with a Halloween party.
A friend of mine saw this picture and he was like, "Oh, is that you that I saw dressed up over in this field or something?" And I was like, "No." Like he really thought. So I guess there were people, dressed up and role playing down the street, and
So
they thought that
interesting.
was me because of this. So ridiculous. So
Yeah. How like where would you go? Sacramento, Sonoma or something?
anywhere, anywhere.
All right. Kyle Rivera. It's nice, huh? Everybody did a really good job. It almost looks like he added the body. The body, this is the original picture though here. Oh no, that's the original picture with his face on it. And this is, he added darkness to it.
Or you sent a screenshot like the other assignments. We take a screenshot
Yeah,
of like our work. Yeah.
yeah. I only say that because some people have a hard time uploading, just uploading images. So this is screenshots the easiest way to do it. Yeah, these are great. I think I like this one better than this one. The contrast on this one is too high. It makes it look less old timey. The lower contrast I think looks older, and you might have washed out your face. It's hard to pick how washed out your face would be. Like you can take the hand color from his existing thing and then bring that up and use like copy a little bit of his hand and cut and paste it over your face and then adjust the gray on your face to try and match that color is a pretty okay way to do it unless the light is drastically different. I don't think the light would be that different from here to here, but maybe a little bit. It give you a thing. I don't think you're that far off. Anyways, I think maybe a little bit more brightness and a little less contrast and it would have looked just perfect because these guys have super low contrast. The hand I think looks a little lighter. This is great. It's a great photo. I think this is half the fun is like getting to see the old timey photos. Love like the newsy kids in the background. Oh, there it is. Wow, it took me a little bit. I was like, who, what? Oh, no, there you go. Great one, Finley. What would I say? These people are all super short. This is like a 4 foot tall man. Like if that's a normal person, like this is a really small family. And as such, right, it's really hard to look at the proportions of to get the proportions of things right because small people have smaller heads than normal. I would assume that this is a normal man, and he is standing just about the same level as those. He's like maybe 6 inches taller, but if he were standing next to this guy, right, he's like a good foot taller than them. So if this is a 6 foot dude, right, this guy's barely 5 feet. And the counter here, this is probably 48 inches. So if that's 4 feet, yeah, dude's not very tall. And they're tiny little people with tiny little hands. Interesting. Um, so I think your head's too big, Finley. I think you could have reduced it just a tiny bit more, but the guy underneath that you probably saw and could match that up, match the eyes and the nose and the mouth up to the person behind it. But this is um, a great photo to use. It's the right direction. The the lighting's opposite, huh? The shadow. Well, maybe. Yeah, I'm gonna say that the door is shading your face, and the light you're getting here is bouncing off over here. So, oh, here, look at the canister here. If you look at the visual clues in the thing, it kind of gives you, if it's not super obvious, um, where the light's coming from. And like this guy has straight on lighting, so no shadows to most of him. And this guy too, even his, he's pretty well lit, tiny bit of shadow and stuff there, but he's holding a plate in front of him, so it's hard to tell. I guess you could see the cast shadow from there. Um, so you might want to have flipped your face, and I wouldn't have picked it out so fast, except that I didn't pick it out fast. It seemed just fine to me at first. So there you go. I'd say that that's a win and a really weird picture of these tiny, tiny little pizza people with spaghetti. Yeah, your hair matches, the hairstyle and stuff matches. It's great. Is this Raina? Oh, very nice. did herself as the matron. That's good because you would look funny with a giant mustache and the dog. Oh, you put your dog in there. It's going to be a reoccurring theme, isn't it? That's really funny. I just over Christmas, I got a puppy. I think I showed you guys the puppy in the videos, probably. It's a Weimaraner puppy. So anytime I see something like this, I think of Wegman, who's a famous dog photographer. He photographed my style of dogs, the Weimaraners. That's great. I don't know how much art history you guys have had, especially contemporary art history.
I know Wegman for sure. That's about it.
Have you seen Sesame Street?
Oh my God, absolutely.
That's who
Yep.
Wegman is. That's all this stuff here.
Hmm.
He was made gabillions of dollars. So he had a dog named Man Ray, and he took photographs of her when doing all this kind of. She would do anything he said. She would just stand wherever he wanted. I think she's just too lazy to move. And so all his early work is like this, like dogs doing weird stuff.
Do you know who Man Ray is?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That's why it's kind of funny, right? He's a photographer named his dog Man Ray.
A girl dog though?
Yeah. Um, and here's this one's really funny because it's a Man Ray doing a moray. Just, um, but
So
then, yeah,
cute.
Man Ray passed away, and he got two other dogs. And when those two dogs came, it was all this kind of stuff. Where that's probably Man Ray. It was more kids' books and stuff of dogs like this, where they're dressed in people clothes and they're doing people stuff. And he'd have to have the dog would have to sit there, and he'd have to have his models duck down and stick their arms out from behind the dogs. Like this super extensive setup to get all this weird stuff going on. But some of them are really funny. Anyways, of course, your dog head reminds me of that. So now you have, Rena, now you have a place to go to look for ideas for how to make your dog funny, although you don't seem to have any trouble. You seem to be very good at it. Um, I will say, I can see a bit of a halo around your face. Um, and you could have taken care of that with the stamp tool. So under your head's on one layer, and then you just find a linear place like this, like um, somewhere between this dark piece and this light piece, and you'd hit the Alt button, right, and get the clone thing going, and then just come down here a little bit, and then just go zoop, and it will clone all. You just go doot, 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 and it'll clone all these linear lines perfectly, and you wouldn't need a halo. It's super easy to do, and look just like that. It it's a nifty trick. AI might have done that one too. I think your head needs to be up a tad. See, you can see her neck a little bit. I'd like to see your neck. Apparently, people putting their heads too low today, but it's great. It's really a fun thing. I love his mustache. It's crazy. Who allowed him to have that? Didn't he have a wife yelling at him? There she is. She's gobsmacked. She's like, this mustache. Those are great, guys. I'm super impressed with those. I can't wait for everybody to turn them in. Because they're more because they're fun to look at. and it's an assignment than being an assignment. All right. All right, everybody in the class, Gemini.
We're
I'm
here.
gonna take a quick break and get a glass of water, and I'll be right back. So I'll see you in like 10 minutes.
10 minutes is good. 6:51.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Bye.
I'm back.
Yay. I was worried. Oh, she doesn't come back. Then I'll have to teach by myself again. No.
Yeah, I eggplant parmigiana, so I almost didn't come back, but I'm here.
Nice. Did you make it yourself? I love eggplant parmesan.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
my I'm the only one in my family who likes it. So we don't have it that
Oh,
often.
we don't have it often because it takes so long, but
Yeah.
it's amazing. Totally worth it.
We have this electronic barbecue thingy called the Ninja. And it's like an air fryer, but it also has a grill to it. So it cooks everything 3 times as fast as everything else. So
Hmm.
if you put the eggplant and the stuff in there, it air fries it. It doesn't regular fry it, but it cooks it faster. That's pretty
Nice.
good. You
Yeah.
make French fries and stuff in it. It's got like a grill, like a barbecue grill, but it's cast iron, and then it air fries. I would never in 100 million years thought it was anything that I would ever use because it's a stupid kitchen appliance, and we use it almost every night. So
Yeah,
it
it's
just cooks
pretty
everything.
quick for everything. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like 10 minutes for anything you want, like steak, 10 minutes, eggplant, parmesan, 10 minutes, French fries, 10 minutes, baked
Amazing.
potato, like 20 minutes. But yeah, still that's fast.
So it's kind of like Photoshop neural filter.
Yeah, yeah, seriously.
21 seconds.
Okay, so I wrote a bunch of this stuff. I thought this was funny. I was like, oh, I want a picture of Photoshop AI, and it gave me a picture of Adobe Illustrator, which is AI. So not that one, but this one. So let's talk a little bit about AI and all the different things. I didn't actually know some of these things. I had to look it up and see how to do them because they're not all available in the neurofilters. They're kind of spread out all over the place. And I didn't realize that this thing here, this Adobe Sensei technology, is what their AI is called. So all their AI technology uses this machine learning thing called Sensei technology, um, and which is kind of cool, I guess.
I think
Um,
it's sensei.
like a Japanese teacher.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Application, blah blah blah. Okay, so let's talk about what the different things in Photoshop are that run off AI. The NER filters for sure. Um, we'll go into that. I have a whole page on neural filters. So, the content aware fill, the generative fill, um, it's the same thing. Um, in Photoshop, it's called generative fill. In text, they call it the content aware fill. A content aware scale, which doesn't work very well, but exists. Maybe we'll take a look at how to do that. They're like, it works. Look at how fantastic this is, but don't do it too much. I added a couple videos of some of these things to the supplemental learning stuff, just because they're interesting and kind of fun. Select subject, that's part of the content aware fill thing. You either get the if you have an object there, it'll say remove sky or select subject. So we've used that one before. Enhance transform warp. I've not used this one, and I didn't have time to look it up, but I use transform warp all the time, so I'm really interested in seeing how it works. Remember we did this is how you put like images on wine bottles and stuff, right? And cans and things. So yeah, and interested to look that one up. In enhanced upsampling. I didn't do this one either, but I have an image that I want to try it out on. Like I said, some of these I didn't even know existed until I looked them all up, until I went and looked up like what the heck was there. And auto tone and color correction, of course. There are various things, various different neural filters that do that in different ways. And then a little bit about that. So those are the AI functions. There might be a few more, but I think these are most of the ones that are in use. And then in neurofilters, I think there's 20 neurofilters right now, and each of those fall into one of these categories. Not that one. That's just a description. Okay, so oh, here they are. Here's the neurofilters, and not to be confused with quick actions. Here are quick actions. So quick actions are kind of like neurofilters in that they do stuff when you press a button. But quick actions don't work solely on AI. Some of them do. Some of them, like here's remove background, right? And that's very much uses AI. But a lot of these don't. Smooth skin isn't an AI function. So it's kind of like I'm not even sure if they're using AI. They might just be macros. So that is why in the module I included a macro section, because neurofilters and quick actions are very much like macros, and so you can make your own neurofilters with a macro if it's something you do all the time. Like for instance, like, oh, I want to add this watermark to every single picture I have. You can create one, and then anytime you want to add it, you just go boop, and it'll add that watermark to the lower corner there. All right, back to neural filters. Where did we finish with that? That's a description of them. Oh no, I go back. Skin smoothing, colorize, style transfer, super resolution, noise reduction. Again, these are, I have to go in, like missing half of them. Content aware, haze removal, smart portrait, which isn't available yet. I signed up for the pre-release of it. and so we'll take a look at all of them. I'll make the neurofilters match the list. I just grabbed it, started writing them down. I don't remember if I got all the way through. I was trying to move along. I thought I had written them all down. And then macros and actions, we'll do that in a second. All right. So where the heck does all this stuff live? These are giant lists and they should be right here, right? Here's Photoshop. And Gemini, you very much know where these live, right? Or at least the neural filters, right, are in filters. That's
Filters,
an easy,
yeah.
you go. It's better if you select the image, the layer, and then go filter and then neural filters, and they pop up. And they don't, I usually pop up as like an overlay. Weird that this is something new it's doing just a second ago. Interesting. I don't know that I mind it, that it like thinks it's its own little deal. Usually I still have the layers and stuff up here. Interesting. All right, we're gonna roll with it. So we have skin smoothing and smart portrait. Smart portrait doesn't work, right? Oh, maybe it does. And let's see, before and after, not much of a difference. This picture. And we'll just go. I'm just going to press them all just to see how they work. Go back to neural. If you hover over them, it tells you what they do. So skin smoothing, adjust and remove skin imperfections. This our picture here isn't all that high resolution, so it won't do that. Shit, I should have brought her picture. Smart portrait. Adjust the shadows and stuff. Oh, it actually does smiles and stuff. I didn't know it did all that. All right, all right, all right. Let's see. Happiness.
Isn't most of this new or introduced to the 2024 model, like in January?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Most of this has been around for like 5 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, that's why when I open Photoshop now, like there's suggestions. Like when you go to choose new file or open, there's suggestions, there's tutorials, there's like all kinds of things in there. And I
Yeah,
find them to be just so helpful.
yeah. There, and I'll get into that in a second. Um,
Mhm.
all the tutorial stuff. Yeah, because nobody can be a pro at this when when the technology's been around for like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
But you can see that kind of. Oops, I had a thing.
5 seconds.
I wonder if I don't think I have a bigger face to use. That's all right. I shouldn't be messing with it that much. I should just be giving you guys a taste. Otherwise, we'll be here all night, like making him smile. All right. So I don't know if you saw that smart thing, right? It automatically selected his facial area. Smart portrait. Yeah, I turned it on, like that little switch turns it on. And then I can make him younger or older. I can give him more hair. I can change his eye direction or make him happy or sad. God, I'm tempted to try all. You can see that it's going to work down here. I don't know what it's going to do. Sometimes AI has a little trouble. I think it just darkened his hair. We're going to go with that. Okay, thank you. Um, all right, I promise I won't go with that. Except for makeup transfer. How much fun is that? I don't have another image to use, but if you had a picture of like a woman with makeup, you could then um, select the source image and it would apply that makeup to his face, which is hilarious to me. Landscape mixer. So if sometimes if these things are in beta, they don't work really well. Everybody understand what beta is?
I'm gonna say yes for the crowd.
Hit that. No, did it poop out? That's it. Oh, I'm doing filters on. Creates a new layer every time you do a new filter, FYI. So you need to collapse it down if you want to work with a raw. All right, landscape, beta. So let's hover over this and see what it does. Magically transform the landscape by mixing it with another image or changing attributes of the time of day. So if I selected snow, and it craps out. It's not doing it. It's too much. It's too much. It can't handle it. That's why it says beta. Someday it'll be working really well. And when that day comes, you'll be able to select this, turn it on, and then pick one of these other pictures and it'll switch the entire background to one of these. I guess we can like increase the sunset a little bit and it'll change the time of day. All it did was mess up her face. That's really kind of weird. Or was that messed up? Oh, what? Oh, no, there it's back. Yeah. Beta. Okay. Careful. Their filter's beta. Not the answer. Apparently colors gray pictures really well. But all right, style transfer. So this is the same thing as this. Landscape transfer will transfer other landscapes into your picture someday. And style transfer will convert your picture to say ink
Style was pretty
drawing.
cool, but
Yeah,
it's not really effective, but it does change some a little bit, and it's kind of neat to mess with that one.
well here like this is nice, right? This is a picture of Tahiti and here's a Gauguin. So it should all go together, like even the colors should be okay. Um, and it just, oh, no. That's, how about we back off this fine. And you can dial these in a little tiny bit. I don't know why it went to town on the water. Silly Gauguin. The, that's the, I'll work with a fresh filter, neural filters, um, style transfer on. This one, the oh, this worked much better with you. Some other pictures.
Select it.
There we go. And Monet. This one here, the Japanese print is really, well, let's see, that looks nice. It's very Monet-esque. almost pointless. There's an artist who does all of them in mountains like so. And you can adjust the saturation and all the different bits of this to get what you want. Kind of neat. Um, and then this one harmonizes all the colors and stuff. So if you want a flavor, this one's my picture's already kind of all over the place. Uh, but if you wanted this, would you be able to give it a color that you'd like it to be? Um, super beta. If this says beta and you haven't, you might have to click on it and agree to something before it'll turn on. Um, color transfer. So if you're working with pictures and you want like, oh, all my other pictures of this series are all yellow, then you can click on that, or green, and then it'll match uh, the pictures. Kind of like doing a colorize, hue transformation, hue and brightness.
Could you also maybe use color transfer if you have an old image with a color cast to correct it?
Yeah, actually you could. It'll yeah, or if you wanted to match, like you said, like an older, you have a new photo and you want it to match an older photo, you could do that because it'll do all muted tones if that's what you're doing. And you can see it's just using these palettes. It's switching my palettes for these palettes, so it's strictly switch. It's whenever you have a Photoshop image, right? Um, it uh, it does an index of all the colors. So all the colors in this entire picture are stored somewhere as numbers, and it's easy. And if you call them up, like this might have thousands of them, but by switching them to a controlled palette, it it um, it can alter those numbers into to matching these colors pretty easily. Oh, and then colorize. Oh, that's weird. Trying to come back from the green. And you can start new layers and stuff here. Your back. Oh, poor computer's gone. Oh, no, I don't want this. Let's back. And colorize. You heard about that one. Super zoom. Does that actually clean up? Zoom and crop image to the detail. That loss of resolution. So it's a actual. Oh, downloading. I did not have super zoom installed. There's super zoom. So if I was able to zoom in, I can never tell if this is my computer or I assume you're able to move this window here, and like I could probably zoom in on his face, but it's having a hard time thinking. So, even just calling them up is kind of probably need to purge my cache. Depth blur, this is a nice one because it blurs the background. Restoration, artifacts removed. I don't, do you, Gemini, do you have a lot of this stuff going on? Where you have a JPEG and it has banding in it from the way it was compressed?
Nope.
You probably don't traffic a lot of JPEGs, huh? Mostly raw.
Mostly raw, yeah.
Okay. And then photo resolution, quickly restore old photos to the power of AI by improving contrast. Let's see what this one is. I'll download that because I wanted to. This is kind of a low res image. I would like it to be nice. But I think this takes out dusts and scratches more and blurs the background. It runs like 5 or 6 different techniques on it. We'll see. Well, I did okay job. I mean, that's better than it was for sure. Huh. Well, great work. Oh, a little artifact there. Great. It does a really nice job, actually. It's very hard to make this go. I'm glad this is like super Blade Runner stuff, right? Where they're like enhance section 43 through 52, like the photographer's dream, where they're zooming in on like a fingernail or a fish scale on the lower near the dresser. Cool. All right, so there's also this wait list for different stuff coming up, and you can put your name on a list. There's the shadow regenerator thing I was talking about, and long exposure, and a portrait generator, and noise reduction, which I could have used on the photo on the friends. Right, I'm gonna go stop my dog from barking whatever she's barking at, and I'll be back in about 7:20. Okay.
Okay,
Sorry.
no problem.
She's crazy. Don't get that kind of dog. All right. All right, so that's neurofilters or as they exist so far. Do you have anything to add to that? Because you were kind of an expert on it, having used it once or twice since it was invented.
Yeah, since it was invented, it's been pretty fun. What I'm finding with the
Mhm.
neural filters is that I mean, they're in baby stage, but I think we should all keep playing with them. And I think one of my favorite things about all of this now is the more we play with them and the more we mess with everything, it's constantly learning.
Yeah,
And Adobe uses Adobe stock, and their licensing is tight. And I mean, it's amazing
yeah,
what they're doing. And I think that this is basically the best guilt-free AI we could do.
right. Because they pay
Um,
for all their pictures that they're using in all their stock. So yeah, it works out. It's a great deal.
Yeah, and they're people like you and I that are adding photos into stock and that are approving the use of it for this. So there's no theft going on, and I think it's really great. And
Yeah.
Adobe's really setting an example. And on top of that, like I did with that assignment, if I don't know, Adobe is poised to give you tutorials. And there's so much. If you have any question, ask Uncle Google, and
Yes.
type in Adobe, and it's there. And Photoshop has tutorials built in. I say we all keep using them. They're
Yeah.
gonna change every 5 minutes. They're changing, and I think they're gonna be really, really useful
Well,
really
that's
soon.
a great segue, actually, to the next topic, which are, guess what? Quick actions. Now, you may have seen quick actions um, in the properties thing here, right? Here's quick actions, remove background, select subject. Same thing as up there, but there are a lot more. And some of them are stupid. Like some of these are just filters, and I think they're just filling out their list, like wood print, and these are all just stuff from the filters bucket. But the interesting thing is about filters, right? Is you can type in anything you want, and it will bring up a tutorial, and you can start this tutorial, right? And it'll take you through how to do it, which is fantastic. Cancel out. Um, Close that down. So the other way to get here, it's really bad. You have to go hands on. No. Uh, Hands on tutorials. Yeah, there you go. And you get it back. And you can add to these, but I don't know how to do that yet. I think if you have one that you really like, you can uh, put it on here. And then here's some of the same. I think they want this to be a bigger thing than it is right now. There's smooth skin, and here select subject and blur background. We can use blur background now. Um, and it creates a modifier layer. And when it did that, you see it created an alpha version of the character. So basically it cut that character out and then worked on the background, um, which is sort of how they want you to work with generative scale. But I'm not a fan. And just adjust lighting is actually kind of interesting. Um, um, Tutorials and stuff again here if you need them. It always gives you like a little related thing, but then if you want to adjust, you just hit adjust lighting and it takes you into camera raw, and then you can use all the camera raw stuff. And you hit OK, and it saves it as a smart layer, which I think is pretty cool. Select sky. Then you can delete it. Anyway, so that's the difference. I thought you'd find that kind of fun. I just colorize old photos. This is kind of a mixture. Most of these are like macros, though. It's so hard for me to say what's a macro and what's a filter these days. Like what is AI doing, and what is just something that somebody did and a smudge and somebody did on and recorded. And then here's Miro filters, another link to it here. Cool. But anything you want to know, or anything, how to remove a person from a photo, right? It gives you these great little tutorials on how to do it with video and stuff. So if you ever get lost in how to do this, or what you can do, and then you can just even go to the tutorial section and scroll through them. They might have stuff here um, that would be helpful for doing our projects, stuff that we haven't covered yet. There's text, working with layers, beginning design projects, changing perspective, workflow techniques. They have a lot of good videos, tutorials, and they're only going to get more and more, like you said. Oh, you can dial in your skill level. There's advanced stuff. Crazy. Quick actions. What's new? And great. So anyways, those are available for you. And so the next thing, let's out of that. The next thing I want to cover is generative fill, and we've already kind of talked about it, but I need to talk about it here because actually this is what I should be talking about it. And let me get rid of this. Rasterize layer, just into it. So generative fill is used for stuff like this. Okay, I really don't want that watermark there. That's why I left that one. Then you can just select it and hit generative fill. Oops, sorry. You can just select it and then just hit enter. Or hit generative fills. And you, there it goes. And it should take care of it. We kind of talked about this. Like the first class. Yay, it's gone. Now, I like that one better. That one. I think this. And then I would go, okay, that's great. Thank you very much. Generative fill. And I can merge those layers and then it's gone. How would I have done this normally? Without this, I would have used the clone tool probably. I feel like I should teach you something. Let's stamp it here far enough away where it'll grab that. And then I can come in here. And do that. Neat, huh? I think it's equally as fast either way. All right. Generative fill is also good for putting things in that were not there before. So for instance, if I wanted like, hey, I really want like a hotel here, I hit generative fill and thank you, and then put in beach hotel. And it'll go to Adobe Stock and give me some options. Can't really see that. Oh, that's a little bit better. It's weird how it's off to the side. I like that one. I mean, that looks like a beach hotel.
Check your spelling.
Oh, did I miss a batch? Oh, it's a batch
But
hotel. That's my problem.
yeah, it's a perfect batch hotel.
That was an awesome batch hotel. I'm not wearing my glasses. All right. EEA Beach. I'll try house this time. A batch
Oh,
house. Us. Ah,
a
God dang
beach house.
it. All right, let's see what it does. Wow. My glasses are literally like 3 feet away. Oh
It's a
no,
perfect house.
the houses are upside down. That's hell is a that's like a boat. The heck is it thinking? All right, try it one more time. That no. I mean save that. No. I'm not making it easy on generative fill. There.
But the more you learn or the more you use it, the more it's going to learn. So keep
Yeah.
doing it.
See, look how nice that is. See, we put in a few houses. And
I like that it was like, I don't know what you're spelling, but I'll take my best guess and went like tried anyway.
yeah,
No,
it's
you
like
know what I mean? It makes an effort, but
it's
then
pretty
you
good. It's
correct
like
it.
Google or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Google does that.
Yeah.
All right. So how would we do that without a button? Let me find a beach house. I don't know. I'll put it in, kind of do like a half transparency so I can see how it fits in with the other one. Somewhere right about there. And then straight away, I know I can lose all that bottom bit. This. Then crank it up again. Get rid of that blue. Oh, and my thing set to 32 is right. So this is the tolerance on the magic wand. If I lower it, then it doesn't grab as much, but it's grabbing a lot. So might have to go in there and manually do this. Just grab the eraser tool. Make sure that I pull on stuff. And then I can, if I put the eraser here and I hold down shift, it draws a straight line. That's really good for rectilinear roof lines and stuff. Just click, hold down Shift, click again, and it connects those dots together. And that works for the eraser tool and for the pen tool, just in case you didn't learn that in the last class. Then, of course, to come in here, and I'm just breaking up the edge against the water here so it's not so darned sharp. Wonder if I can fix that. Transform. I think I can fix the perspective of it very much. Go away. Maybe a little bit. The angle, of course, of this is like up in that spot. And then image adjust, desaturation. Darken a little bit. Get rid of some of the saturation. Maybe light. Kind of want to blur your eyes, and when this matches this, then you know you're pretty good. And then this is way higher res than this, so I would probably lower the resolution of it or blur it. Filter. Filter. Blur. Or not much. There you go. So it took me like 10 minutes to do that, and it took AI all of 30 seconds. Same sort of deal. But I had to
I
look
have
up
a
a picture.
silly question.
Uh-huh.
I just opened an image, and generative fill is not one of my options. If I just select a space and put like a rectangle or something on my image,
I'm
it's
sorry, one more time. What, I didn't hear what you
generative
said.
generative fill is not, it's, I like don't have the option. If I just have an
Oh,
image that I just open a picture and select a square,
you click on the
generative fill
layer.
is not. Yeah.
You clicked on the layer?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and it's in generative fill's not there.
Correct. Does it need to be a smart layer, or does it, or a smart object or anything like that?
What flavor of picture are you using?
It was raw converted to JPEG,
No, that should be fine.
and then I did right click, I made it a smart object, and
Yeah,
then I went
even
over, selected did the rectangle, the marquee tool, and selected a space, and then something else pops up where it gives me select mask borders, all kinds of things,
no,
invert, but generative fill does not pop up.
can you pull up another image that's just a JPEG or something? Are you using 2024? I mean, you had generative fill going on before, right?
Oh, whoa, yeah, you are correct. This is Photoshop 23, and I don't know why.
Hmm.
I mean, I had 24. No, but I didn't even notice that. So I'll see why that's doing it.
Yeah, because you get it free from the school, right? Don't they give you
No.
a school discount on the software?
Yeah, I think there's a discount, but I use it for work too. So, there's a, I don't know. I mean, I've been using 24 on here. I've used generative fill. I think it
Yeah.
just saved the old one on here when I opened it. So there's a 20 Photoshop 2551.
Let's see.
And it says verifying Photoshop 24.
25 point, yeah, 25.5.1. Oh,
Okay.
I haven't done that yet. I haven't updated it yet, but it is available.
Well, that's I did have like numerous power outages the other day, so I don't know what's going on here, but oh, see, and it just pops up. So I have 23 and 24.
Huh. You should uninstall 23 because you don't need it.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. But now I didn't know that was the problem. So now I got it. We're good.
Okay.
I was just panicking like we it's all different already. Okay. That
Yeah,
was
it's like
it.
12 gigs of crap on your machine.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just crap. But I didn't realize it was still there, so got it. No, that makes all the difference.
Cool. So this is sort of the homework. I should just keep going here. Um, the homework is to build a scene, find a picture of an ocean and some trees, any kind you want, um, and with some people in it, and then build a scene. It has to have, you have to do 10 AI things to it. And I haven't written it down yet, but that's going to be the assignment. I should probably write it down while I'm thinking about it. And that should give people ample chance to use all the fun AI stuff. Look, there he is. I had a much better guitar guy, but he actually cost money. He was super high res and wonderful. Instead, I got low res guy. Low res. Neuro. That makes sense. Let's see. Using the new neural filters and the quick actions, create a scene using 10 of the functions in 10 of the functions. Here, I'll make it sound easy. Use at least 10 of the functions those two are. Tempted to give it like a theme, like they must be on a vacation with a dolphin or something. This not quite as directed, but still fun. There you go. That's how I write assignments. Isn't that exciting? All right.
I'm excited because I'm gonna learn a lot.
Gemini's like, why am I taking this class? Jesus. Uh,
No,
no,
no, it
because
helps. I mean, stupid things like where's generative fill, and I didn't even think. So I'm learning as we go, and I think that playing is how we learn from the start, isn't it?
yeah. Well, I think that this particular class that we're doing right now on the generative fill and stuff will get people like my minds around it because I do the same thing you do. I'm on Adobe Max and I'm looking at stuff and I'm every time there's something fun on Instagram, I go look it up and try it out and stuff like that. So, but I don't know that everybody does. And the problem is like with the add color thing, right? Like you were done with that assignment in 3 seconds and other people worked for days on it. Um, and so it's really not fair that they don't know that that stuff is out there. So this should force them to at least look at the things available.
Right. Well, and on top of that, I wasn't satisfied with like, what if I don't like these colors? What if it did it wrong? What if, there's
Yeah.
all that. So it does not remove the need to learn how to do it. And like I said, I sat with a friend of mine and we colored all kinds of stuff just to make sure that I was really getting what I needed to get in that. Um, and that was cool to do it with a friend, you know.
Yeah. It's a
Um,
fun assignment too.
and this
It's a
friend is super old school, will not go up to 24 because he does not want AI. He's like absolutely against AI. So I'm
Well,
like, okay, old school, here we go.
I mean, honestly, he shouldn't be afraid to go up to 24. Well, yeah, you know what? The one horrible thing about 24 is they removed all the 3D stuff, like or the
No,
node.
there's a bunch there. I don't know what to do with it, but there's a lot.
I thought they were removing it all, but it looks like some of it's there, huh? All
Yeah, they're
right.
not removing yet, I think. And aren't they moving it to a different program though?
Yeah, they are to stupid
Adobe Illustrator, yeah.
to yeah to painter to substance painter. So
Okay.
substance painter already has 3D hooks. Substance director and substance painter come from the 3D world, and they're used for making pictures to put on 3D models. That's what they do best. That was what they started, but then they started adding functionality to them. And when
Hmm.
they got close to being a 3D program that could compete with Maya and 3D Studio Max and Blender and stuff, Adobe bought them, probably with the plans to do that. So most likely Photoshop will stick to its 2D stuff and then remove all the 3D things.
Yeah. Well, I greatly appreciate that we are learning AI in this class because this is the first class that, because this is Photoshop 2. In one, not one of us had generative film. None of us had all these AI capabilities. This is all very, very new, and you didn't even
Yeah,
have curriculum for it. None of the textbooks have it. We're learning as it's released, and for all of us that are going to apply for that the Photoshop certificate, at least half of our education will include AI now.
yeah,
And we're getting into it like right at the right time.
yeah. You are. You
So
guys will be way ahead of almost everybody else. It'll be good for you.
everybody who's been certified before us, we
Yeah,
have the upper hand at this moment because we're the first class. Yeah, with these options. Kind of intimidating, daunting. Look at it.
yeah. It is kind of fun. You guys will be great. Come on, where's my lighting?
We might fumble into it, but we're gonna get this.
Well, it's being developed around you. That's the best time. When I started learning 3D, it was being invented as I did it. So uh, it's kind of I can say from experience that it's a lot of fun to learn that way because you get to invent a lot of stuff. And then if you have the knowledge because you've been uh, growing up with it, then people will seek you out um, for that knowledge because you're the only one with it.
Kind of like
Which is
Gen Alpha. Do you know what Gen
yeah,
Alpha is? Yeah.
no,
So no.
no.
Well, so we have like millennials and boomers and
Oh,
Zs
right.
and things, right? So Gen Alpha
Yeah,
is like this newest generation of kids that are iPad babies, essentially. So
right.
they're like 12 to 14 years old right now. They've had an iPad their entire life or a device their entire life. Um, and you can hand them a brand new iPhone and say, you want this and this or such and such, or hand them a Samsung, Android, whatever, and say, I want it to do this and that. And like these kids have had no instruction, but they'll do it all. And then
Right.
like also a couple years ago with COVID shut everything down. This is the generation of kids who they go to Google, they type something in, they hit the wrong button, and Google's teaching them how to code. And
Yeah, right.
and they're doing it. I was like, they didn't. They're fine. Like nobody taught them. There was no class, no instruction. They just stumble into it. But that generation of kids is, I mean, that's the goal is to exceed our predecessors,
Yeah,
and um, and they're doing it. And so it's kind of cool that like here we are, new generation of Photoshoppers learning AI as it's released with instruction, with help, with support,
yeah.
and that's
I
a
don't know how
major
much
upper
help I
hand.
am, but I am definitely supporting you guys and doing this and giving you an opportunity. So
And encouraging, and we get a certificate out of this too.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, it's all pretty cool.
I crashed my machine. I accidentally hit the render button, so it's rendering it out. But this is how you do. Did you see how mine was 2D and now it's 3D? That's
Mhm.
what that button does. Let's see if it'll let me out. Oh yeah, there it goes.
I wonder if you did an assignment with us side by side. So you're working on the thing for the fire department, but what if you generate flames? I wonder how it would turn out if you did it by hand versus you generating with AI.
Oh, well, I generated a lot of flame in particle systems in Unreal. Like I went into Unreal and generated VFX flames because I needed kind of specific stuff. And then
Mhm.
I filmed those against a green screen and then brought those into live action.
But
And they
you
worked
filmed
okay.
them. What I'm saying is, what if you did
Oh,
another one
hmm.
using AI generative film?
Oh, yeah, I don't know. Let's
Like
see
just
what
to
AI.
compare, like you were just comparing.
Yeah, but After Effects doesn't have any AI because it's too complicated. So if I go generative fill here,
But
and I
if you
go,
took the image that you showed earlier of the car tire and the tree
oh,
branch,
yeah. Oh, yeah, that actually, that might be good because I have to redo that scene because I made the fire too big and they said it was too scary. Oh, look at that. Nice.
dang! See,
Yeah.
you might just cut your work into 21 seconds too.
Well, at least I can get a picture of what it should look like. Like this is reference material for me. I still have to
Yeah,
generate the flames, generate the smoke, and put it together
sure.
in a moving shot. This is a
Does
drone
that
shot
third
of,
one have a bat wing?
I'm not sure what it, yeah, I don't know why it keeps putting weird things in there. Like a hang glider?
Oh yeah, hang glitter on fire or something maybe.
Yeah. This is
Okay.
actually a place where people hang glide from all the time. It's right here. So maybe it's recognizing that. Weird. That's pretty cool. All right, yeah, where's that log? Oh, there's Dr. Phil. Oh, this was my big joke. Generative Phil, right?
Oh my God,
Sorry.
he's worse with hair.
Yeah.
Wow,
Hey,
you
he
get
he made
creepier.
some really creepy comment that Jon Stewart like jumped on about the immigrants. It's hilarious. On the Daily Show the other night. Um,
Huh.
all right, there's my images. There's my images. Do there to go of the director reference. Do, 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 do. All right, let's see how this works. Call. Oh, where my picture? No, no. Oh, how did it close? Get back here. Oh, I see. It's not opening in Photoshop. It's opening in something. Thank you. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's talk about this. So this part needs to be kind of embers, glowing ember. And so I'm just going to trace the tree bark here. Something like that. Generative fill. Because this I can actually bring into After Effects and then overlay it on the actual video. That's too light. Something like that. That's too, looks like lava. I just said embers. How are those embers?
Yeah, it's
Um,
not perfect.
Barbecue embers. Part
Yeah,
of
or
part of the
like
deal is going to be able to talking to the stupid machine, isn't it?
glowing hot, warm colored embers, or like
Yeah,
who knows how. I mean, I've watched
orange
some
embers.
videos on this, and then there's kids who are like going, and a butterfly with purple wings and pink polka dots and sparkles, and and they just go on and on and on, and it gets pretty close.
Interesting. Oh, that's kind of fun. I kind of like the way it is now. It looks like paper or something in there, burned paper.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there we go. That's
Hey,
exactly what
neat.
they want to see. Or maybe that one. Uh,
Ooh,
that one probably. Yeah, I like that one.
that's pretty cool.
That is cool. And then I can,
Hey, work can be so much more fun now.
yeah, look, I'm getting paid twice right now. Um,
Ooh. Well, the assignment is to cheat, right?
yeah, that's the whole assignment is cheating. And then I can go and I can just kind of grab little bits of this with this brush with the clone tool.
Wow, that's working.
Yeah, it's really nice. As long as you follow the natural um, grooviness of whatever's happening,
It's totally
um,
working.
it it'll look really good. All right, so then all I need is this tree. I don't even need it to be very good. I'm just trying to not get trying to make it so I'm not teaching you guys macros. That's I still have to teach you macros. Have you ever done any actions, macros
Nope.
stuff?
Macro is
That's
a
cool.
totally different word to me.
Yeah, macros just means multiple functions put together.
Oh, yeah. It would be like, yeah, that's a different word in photography.
Yeah, not like macros, not like the anime. It's sort of like that.
Not
Um,
that either. Macro in photography is your subject
oh,
taking the majority of the, it's
yeah.
really zoomed in. Mhm.
All right, tree, fallen tree, embers. Do you want to see how After Effects works?
Oh, but I think we're
Practically,
recording, or are we recording?
I got time. You got an hour. But make me stop in like 20 minutes at the most
Oh,
and teach you guys macros. Unless you wanted to get out of here early, then I'll just teach you macros and you can
it's macros then, yeah.
go. Tree two. Okay, so here's the actual shot. See, I had fire in there, and they're like, no, there can't be any fire.
Oh, the smoke is great.
Uh, yeah, this After Effects rocks and rolls. I like it. These are all the different elements, right? Different smokes, and I can turn them all off. There's the fire. It's the background. Oh, I don't this. Campfire, campfire. They didn't want any fire. Look, I had like 5 things of fire here. And they're like, nope, we don't want any of those. Thank you very much.
Huh, it's triggering or?
Um, they said it was too much. So here, this is the burnt tree that I did in Photoshop over the actual tree.
Hmm.
So if I just keep turning that on, go away. So fallen tree with holes. Okay, so there's the actual tree. And then there's the overlay, and I kind of made it darker, and it has holes in it. Fine. If I turn off that, you can see this is sort of the darker black part of the tree. And then what I can do here is just drag the new ember tree in. Get linear scale. And because this is a locked off shot, it the tree can be static. It's not bad. I think that's what they want. Now I just need to make them glow, which is a little harder. So now remember the vector thing from before? So vector can happen in After Effects too. So I'm going to duplicate that tree thing there. So I have two of them, and then I'm going to isolate this part here that's glowing by creating a mask using a vector shape. Remember this? We did this just a little while ago.
Yep.
So I'm creating a mask. Doop. And you can see if I hide, uh, all that's visible of the tree is just that little bit there. So I have this one, the whole tree, and then on top of that, I have just the ember bit. I'm going to change that color of the little square so I know that that's the one that needs to light up. And then I can go in here to these are all the things you can do to a layer in After Effects. I go, and then of course there's effects and all sorts of color corrections. And I can just go hue saturation, add an effect. And I can set keys for all this stuff. I'm going to make it one color, preferably orange or yellow. And come down here to the opacity and reduce the opacity. We'll set a key there, an animation key on frame one, and animation key end, so that that's the same. Then I could actually set an animation key in the middle. And then here I'm going to turn it up a little bit. Yeah, I'm gonna set a key here and turn it up a little bit. And then turn it down again. And then real quick, turn it up again. And then when you play it, they need to go a lot more faster than that. Oh my God.
That's so cool that you can do that, that you can change it and all the things. So it's like this super, super, super hyped up Photoshop.
You know what? It's not. It's just Photoshop with different buttons, really. So if you learn Photoshop, After Effects is just a hop, skip, and a jump away. Um,
Neat.
and Premiere as well, too. Premiere has some of this functionality. So this is sort of like if you learn Premiere and you learn Photoshop, then After Effects is super easy to do. And
I
you can
learned
do
some
all,
of Premiere and it's just not, I don't know. So complicated it seemed,
nah.
but
Well, it
not
depends who
impossible.
teaches it to you. It's really just this, right? They're just lines of movies that you stick together.
Yep.
That's perfect. That's exactly what they want. So boring. I had these wonderful fires going and stuff. It was, and they didn't want any of it. They're like, no, stop doing that. Not that.
I won't tell them you used AI.
Okay. Thank you. A reputation to uphold. All right. Fit. We'll look at this one more time. It looks great. Thanks for that suggestion.
Thanks for letting me get away with it.
Yeah, that's much better. All right. But I do have a problem is that the smoke is all behind the fireplace because this stuff or the fire's behind the smoke. So this is my smoke layer here. And these two layers need to be behind. It's just like Photoshop, right? I need the smoke in front of, on top of that stuff, not behind it, in order for it to look good.
Well, and then you need the live tree behind the darker burn tree.
Um, yeah, well, what I should do is darken up that tree a little bit, but it's not bad. I don't mind
You
this.
had a dark one already, so what if can you just drag it under, can you drag the layers up and down like you do in Photoshop?
Yeah, let's see. Yep, unlock it and show it. And bring this one up there.
And then unclick the fallen tree embers with the gray square. 4, number 4.
Click on that
Unview.
one.
Oh, so then you
These
need
these
the,
Yeah, but I can do this because we have blending. The blending is all the same, right? So I can hit multiply on that. And then, oops.
well, just on number 4, if you click the eye and turn off that layer.
That's I need those two
The,
layers so that the yellow and the orange play, right? Because what I'm doing on the
oh,
on
that's the
this
one you
layer,
did that one on. Yeah.
yeah, this one is playing an animation. The other one's just static, but then I'm altering the color just a tiny bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll do like the dark tree. That's a good idea. I have to go in and match it a little better, but that overlay is nice. Yay, great. And are we under the 20 minutes? We are. 4 minutes to spare. Nice job. All right, you can be my assistant. I would never do that because it'd be like 5 minutes and then you'd steal all my jobs.
I'm not that fast of a learner.
Yeah, you're pretty fast. All right. You. Am I moving? It's the matting it out so the car, it goes behind the car. All the smoke and stuff, all the effects need to be behind the car. So that's why the smoke, you can see the smoke isn't in front of the car. Yay, super excellent. All right, number 3. Save as. If it's fallen 3 tree, fallen tree 3. And then to bring this whole composition together, you just go here to what's called the rendering queue, and these before just create a new one. Come on, I only have 2 minutes. Hurry up. It renders it pretty fast for fairly. This is a 2K image. And it goes through them pretty quickly. Mhm. This one's my favorite. I'll show it to you when it opens. Oh no, I rendered over the good one. This one, I used to have the fire went way up here. Oh, my computer's having issues. Doesn't want to play. I don't know. It doesn't want After Effects, Photoshop, and a giant MOV playing at the same time for some reason. All right, but it's all the same sort of stuff in
And
Photoshop and
zoom.
After and Zoom. Yeah, not to mention 10 different websites, a different hard drive.
And you're starting to glitch a little bit.
Sorry.
You were
Oh yeah,
starting to glitch a little bit too.
my internet signal went down. Oh, that's great. Um, for- for-
You're glitching like too much and like it's skipping out. I don't know. I'm skipping out too, but I'm gonna leave the meeting and then I'll join back in.
Is